You are listening to the It's Your Time podcast, and I'm your host, Certified Life Coach Michelle Arnold Burke. In today's episode, I'm discussing Mentoring Week. Welcome to the It's Your Time podcast, the podcast where busy professionals like you get the practical solutions and support you need to gain control of your schedule so you can strive to be the best in your career, but without the stress and overwhelm. If you're looking to increase your energy and decrease your stress, you are in the right place. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast, friends. Okay, this week I want to share with you a little preview of an upcoming bonus series next week. I'm so excited. There has been so much collaboration put into this, and I think you are truly going to find exactly what you need in each episode. January is Mentoring Month, which is basically an opportunity for us to celebrate the positive influence mentors can have on children and young adults, and I will add older adults as well, right? In fact, I just had a call yesterday with someone who has been in her position for 15 years and was looking for a mentor. And I have to tell you, I've been here for 17 and a half. And after this amazing mentoring month that we have had, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I need to reach out to a new mentor as well. And let me also just say, mentors can be younger than you. Like, we can always learn from each other. So when you're listening to these episodes, I really encourage you to go in with an open mind and think about how each episode can benefit you in a way that allows you to get closer to your goals in life. And the campaign in general is about raising awareness around the power and impact of mentoring, to recognize the importance of mentors, and to encourage you also to become a mentor. So, in light of this, it brings me great delight to let you know that next week you will in fact have a podcast every day from Monday through Friday. And I had the privilege of speaking with 5 different leaders within Medtronic, one of the world's largest medical device companies. Now, full transparency, it was a project that I worked on in collaboration with our mentoring team through Aspire, which you have heard me talk about here a number of times. So some of what we discussed does reference specific programs within Medtronic, and I would say still listen. Every single person gave great perspective on mentoring and how they have been influenced by mentors and what they love about mentoring, and you can always find takeaways from listening to folks. And not for nothing, maybe you want to come work for Medtronic, right? For sure, reach out if you have any questions. It's an amazing company. And when you start with the intention of listening to these episodes in order to get exactly what you need from each episode, guess what happens? You hear it. And the next part then is that you need to start implementing it. Now, let me give you a heads up. One of the themes that was loud and clear is that you need to be the owner of your journey. So often we get into our day-to-day, and I get this. I am right with you. We are busy doing this and busy doing that and busy helping this person and busy helping that person. And then quite honestly, you don't take the time to stop, give yourself a moment to recognize that maybe all of this busyness is not entirely necessary. What are you doing? Prioritize in a way that allows you to contribute to building the life that you want. So please be intentional before you listen to each episode. Think about, what do you want in your career? Heck, you can have mentors in all aspects of your life, not just work. And I think mentors, for example, that I look to for fitness, come on, pretty sure you've heard me once or twice reference my addiction to Peloton here, right? So think about where you want to be. What is that goal? And who has accomplished it? How can you maybe reach out to that person for a quick conversation to learn more? Or how can you maybe read about that person in order to look at what their journey looked like? And again, not that your journey has to necessarily look exactly the same, but it just might open up ideas for you that you previously did not have. And each of the folks in next week's series will be sharing ideas. I am just trying to get your brain primed here, thinking along these lines, right? You need to be willing to take a pause and to start thinking about what needs to be done in order to move the needle in your life. Another thing that came up in each discussion is that people want to help you. And you also bring new energy to the relationship, which is often useful for the person that you're reaching out to. So it can be mutually beneficial. I love to think that you come to these relationships with curiosity, but you need to be the one to drive it. Let me share the lineup in case you want to go ahead and connect with some of these folks on LinkedIn in advance. Carla Jung, Vice President of Sales, Coronary and Renal Denervation at Medtronic. Julia Buhager, Vice President of U.S. CRM, Service and Service Transformation at Medtronic. Radina Salmon Sawyer, Senior Sales Director, Northeast Neuromodulation and Interventional Pain Therapies, Medtronic. Steve Coleman, Senior Area Sales Director, Endovenous at Medtronic. You see a theme here, right? I did give you a heads up. Phoebe Swan, Senior Leader, Global Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity at Medtronic. It truly is an amazing lineup, and each person brought their own uniqueness to the conversation. I had so much fun talking to these folks. Here are a couple of the other things that I also want you to consider as you're listening. Mentoring can look like a lot of different things. I have mentors from books, for example, that I read that I will never meet, and they will never know what influence they have played in my life. And they have provided me with great guidance that I've been able to experience different levels of personal growth with their expertise. And that's a beautiful thing. Mentoring can also be very formal. It can be a formal relationship where you have structure, where you have a cadence of calls, where there are events that are planned. It can really work however you want it to be. Mentoring can just be a quick call when you need a person to talk to. And I feel like I enjoy a nice blend of coaching and mentoring in my life. And I will say, I do see a difference between the two. In fact, when I was on this call recently, I had to clarify, do you want coaching or do you want mentoring? Because there are two different things. When I mentor, I often give information, right? I might share my journey, which again doesn't mean that that's how it has to look for you, but it gives you some ideas. When I coach, more often I am asking questions. Coaching is an opportunity for me to show you your brain, right? There's a difference. Mentoring, I can give you my brain. Coaching is I ask questions so that you can see your brain. And coaches help you to see where your blind spots are, but you always have the wisdom within. Mentoring might be more, I, again, tell you what worked for me, and you can take the advice and run with it. Whereas coaching, I am more likely to push you to look within to find that information. And again, the conversation can go between both, right? As you are having the dialogue of talking about your goals. What is important to you in your life? And for some, that is just a delightful way to figure it out, right? There is no right way. I just like to know when I'm talking to someone, do you want coaching or do you want mentoring, right? Because at the end of the day, it comes down to you gaining clarity on what's important to you and you starting to take action. Again, I will say this over and over, and you will hear it next week. There is no right or wrong answer. In fact, I was just telling someone that I work with, I'm a big believer in getting started. We might not always know the how, but guess what? If we don't start doing something, we may never figure out the how. You have to take action, make the calls, reach out to the mentors in order to decide if it seems like a good fit. And that is the best news ever. You are in charge. Please do not let this fall by the wayside. If you aren't making the next step for yourself, nobody else is either. So, book your calendar, listen each day next week, and we kept the episodes on the short side, just as usual, to make sure it was efficient for you. And I would love to know what comes up as you listen. In fact, I am sure all of the guests would also love to hear from you. So feel free to reach out to me on the socials at Michelle Burke Coaching or to any of the guests that you will hear from. They all gave their LinkedIn information. Okay, friends, that's what I have for you today. Let's meet back here on Monday for the exciting bonus week episodes. But for now, make it a great day. Take care. Did you know you can take this work to a deeper level with me one-on-one? Go to michelleburkecoaching.com and click on Get Started to begin.